Hello everyone, Richard here again about the political system. This is an ongoing theme, one more video in the series. I shall make a playlist for it and I think call it Democracy or something like that. So, an MP cannot serve two masters, and yeah, it's the whole purpose of this democracy is for our political representatives to respond to our concerns as citizens, as their constituents, and to represent us in Parliament, and it doesn't work. I've had half a dozen MPs over the years. I've moved around the country, supposedly representing me, but I can tell you now they don't. Hardly ever. It's quite shocking, really. I'll give you an example. In the early 90s, I used to belong to a lobby group called Results, and the idea was to generate the political will to end hunger and poverty worldwide. Big ask, but the idea was that government's got the power and the money, they can make the difference. So if we target the MPs and the newspapers, the influencers, then they may in turn be able to steer the government in a better direction. The ship of state, if you like, and we push the rudder. And I recall one meeting I had arranged with my local MP, who was a Tory at the time. And when I got there, he and his aide were clearly almost overtly hostile towards me, because I was asking for an increase in the overseas aid budget, and they didn't like that idea at all. They really didn't like that idea at all. They're quite glaring at me as I walked into the office. I sat down and had a chat with them, and the MP said, "Well, do something, you might do some demand or whatever." Which he may well have done, but I heard nothing since. There's no change, nothing happened. And the fundamental problem is, no matter what beliefs he may have himself, his objective is to serve the people who support him and his party. And I was clearly not one of those people. In fact, was hostile or opposed to his ethos and his party. So he wasn't going to serve me at all. This whole idea of having parties, I mentioned it before, I've actually written about it before, but I've lost the website. But the whole idea of having a system where you buy an MP feels obliged to join a party in order to have any power at all is bonkers. Because what happens in practice is the party machine has to dictate some stance that the MPs should take. And if they object, they get brought into the whip's office, where there might be an actual whip on the table to remind them who's boss. And these whips, these enforcers, twist the MP's arm or remind him or her, well, if you don't conform, if you don't obey, we'll dig out some dirt on you, already in our files, and we'll release to the Daily Mail or the attack dogs in the press. Then your life as an MP will be over, your personal life may be ruined, so don't go there. This whole idea of having a system whereby the parties have to enforce a party line, and the MPs are expected to stick that to that line is just utterly ridiculous. As I say, I've had half a dozen MPs, at least maybe 8. Now I've written about non-party issues, like drugs law, for example, which is a party issue, but they, rather than just my concerns about cannabis, for example, they will stick to the party line and say, well, our position is this, get lost. Don't have to say get lost, but they might as well say it. And so any issue like me addressing the actual political system, pointing out the flaws in it, from an engineer's point of view, they don't like that either, because they see it as a criticism of them. Because rather than them actually being independent and doing the job properly, they belong to a party and sacrifice their integrity, their sovereignty, because that's the way it's done. Never mind whether it's a good way or not, that's just the way it's done. And the evidence of what happens is clearly indicating the whole thing is a nonsense. It's bizarre bollocks. There's many cases we've seen time and time again where someone stands up in Parliament, say in P&Qs, whatever, and makes a party point rather than standing up for what they believe in. And it's really a shocking system. Actually, utterly appalling. No way is that an effective democracy. It's a stupid way which requires enforcement of the party position. So then people don't toe the party line, you get turfed out or spat upon or denied access to the member's bar, or people laugh at you or call you names or whatever. Yeah, it's just childish beyond belief sometimes. Maybe my standards are too high, I'm not sure what it is, but it's I can't believe this shit sometimes. Why do people think this is the way to go? Well, there's example after example of behaviour which is not pleasant or nice or sensible, all because there's a party system. And the whole thing is just nonsense, because the clue in the word is partial. There's no one party can ever claim to represent the country as a whole. That's just nonsense. Like the Tories say, oh, we represent you, we're one nation Tories. No you don't, mate. There's no way you represent me. No way at all. It's miles apart. And even Labour saying, well, we're going to represent everyone. Well, it's not true. Because they represent the wealthy countries of the Deep South. The whole thing is divided, divisive, confrontational, dangerous, delusional madness, insanity. And it's corrupt to the core. And these parties invite funding from external donors, people who may not even be party members, and may not even live in the country, have influence over party policy because they buy that influence. That's just should not be tolerated at all. So let's clean up the system, people, please. actually think about the design. What should it be like? What kind of system should we have that actually works for everyone? And in my view, I'm convinced it's not the current system. Independent MPs will be much better, much more democratic, much less corrupt, more accountable, more sensible. And yet here we are, still having party nonsense. Dictators enforcing rules, enforcement, treating people with disdain like cogs in some machine. The whole thing just stinks to high heaven. So that's another one of my rants. Again, I'm talking to myself or talking to a device and hoping that somebody will actually watch the video and comment and share it and like or whatever. It's a strange way to communicate. But I do my best. So please respond, please comment, please let me know what you think, please share the video far and wide, and please write to the MP asking him or her just what this party system is all about. Bye.